Chelsea's transfer window is over. Senior players on long contracts out, young players on long contracts in. What are we doing? All right, Chelsea fans, here is the deal. We got a lot to break down. The transfer window is over. The results are maybe back on track. So let's figure out what is going on over at Stamford Bridge. And the first thing that we have to talk about, as you know, are some of the transfer announcements. So can we call them eyebrow raising moves? I think that's the fair way to put it. Matt Law reporting earlier, I guess this week, end of last week, about the loan of Mathis Amagu from Saint Etienne. Again, signing young up and coming players. Great. But why? What are we doing today? The team started off the season strong, absolute wobble through the holidays, and now we're signing players for 2, maybe 3 years. It sounds like he's ready in line to go to Strasbourg next season. No impact to this team anytime soon. But hey, we added another young player to the mix. No slight on him. You bring him in. Carney Chukwuemeka is going out on loan to Dortmund, which just is the revolving door of who is the next young player that's going to get there. It doesn't seem to have much, let's say, coherence or strong direction in this. It's just gambling on the next young player. This time, Mathis Amagu. I hope he proves them right because, man, a little bit of depth in midfield could go a long ways right now. So Naz breaking down the Chukwuemeka loan to Dortmund, and it raises questions about, are these moves a sign of a clear vision by the co-sporting directors or an admission that previous signings didn't meet expectations? Hey, it wasn't long ago when Carney Chukwuemeka was cooking under Pochettino in preseason, picks up the injury, and has largely not been a presence ever since. Young up-and-comer from Aston Villa, given a chance to him, proven it. Injuries have gotten in his way a little bit, but also it just feels like we're running a hedge fund here, betting on the next big player. It's been 2.5 seasons. He's out the door. Next one in. Granted, it's just a loan, but that's the beginning of the end, as we know, with this club and how they operate. So it's unfortunate. Chukwuemeka, lovable player, really great guy to have around the squad, I'm sure, but patience has ran out. They move on to the next one. So hope he can have some success in Germany so that he can find his next move. But when you look at the strategy, it seems to be about proving, you got to provide game time to young talents if you want them to develop and turn into something. Yet here we are just, spreading them all over Europe, waiting to see what pops instead of actually having cohesive transfer strategy. You have the Conference League here. Minutes are available. And yet we have a lot of people in the squad without a future that are picking up minutes. So again, squad balancing happening right now, which is good. Squad building clarity, yeah, not so much. So let's see what happens. Either this could be strategic foresight. He goes and crushes it. We've seen Michy Batshuayi go to Dortmund and have a great time there. Didn't have success anywhere else. Let's see what happens with him. But again, young player out, young player in, keep the revolving door going. Am I right? All right, next one we've got here is talking about a little bit of the tactical shifts from Maresca. So Ollie Glanville, great friend of the pod, as you all know, tweeted, moving on to tactics, Enzo Maresca's approach continues to stir debate. Talking about how Chelsea's possession is increased, but the goal-scoring efficiency remains a concern. One big problem, and the fan base is split on this, is that while you want to dominate matches, I get that. I can understand that. Possession is dominance. Look at what prime Barcelona did. At the same time, you need to be able to find that decisive pass, find that incisive decision that's going to get you in front of the goal with a high XG opportunity. Give your players a chance to score. If we just pass and maintain possession around the box and never probe, never find the decisive entry in, none of the possession matters. Jose Mourinho taught us very well the skill and the art of defending, parking the bus, and winning 1-0. Don't you remember? So again, do we need a more direct, results-oriented approach? Is Maresca's philosophy the right fit for our ambitions right now? Time will tell. It was fun. It is a lot less fun now. Let's see how it shakes out because, again, I think the possession versus goals is a very delicate balance. I know CFC Central, again, Sam talked about he is more direct against the bigger teams, but there still leaves a lot to be desired against these mid to lower table teams. These are the ones we dropped points to during the holidays. We had a 7-match streak. We're like, yes, we're going to rack up the points, definitely be in second place. And now here we are, stumbling out of the break or the holiday festive fixture period, and thankfully squeaked out a win against West Ham. Like, this is not the approach that we need. Like, the decisiveness in the final third, the incisive passes, these are the things that were great in the beginning of the season. Now we're just knocking it about, hoping Cole Palmer gets a deflected own goal and saves the day. Not gonna cut it in the end of this season. So, hey, a lot is on Maresca's shoulders to kind of figure out where this team's identity, where we can go in and be successful, because right now it's just not there. You're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. What's it going to be, my guy? We got to find a way to score those goals. And the next one we have to talk about, I kind of teed it up right at the beginning, but what is the direction of this squad? Who really has a clear idea? And by the way, minus signing a bunch of young players, because is that really a direction? Is that really an identity? Is that really a play style? No. What is the direction of the squad? What is the goal of what we're trying to build here? A team that can be maybe a challenger for 6-7 years, or a team that has enough balance and grit to get over the line and win silverware? That's where I think a lot of you fans out there are frustrated. You're struggling to understand what it is. You got 2 sporting directors, which is one more than every other club, because 2 bosses is better than 1. 2 ideas is better than 1, right? Here's how it normally works. You got 1 boss, and they have many people underneath them to go drive against that vision. You usually don't have 2 people with 2 ideas and a team under them trying to manage 2 different people's ideas and themes. This decision by committee thing, right, doesn't seem to be working out the way us supporters want to see it. And so with this transfer window, more questions than answers are driven again at us as fans, trying to figure out, what is your strategy? What is the identity of this team? Continuing to chop and change managers, continuing to chop and change players. These, I think, surprised a lot of us. So Chukwuemeka moving out on loan, I got it, right? I can see why. Unlucky for him, but we've got enough wide attackers. Not really playing a number 8 role for this team. What in the world when we see Joao Felix, who just signed, what was it, a 6-7 year contract this summer, now going on loan for the rest of the season to AC Milan, and he seems happy about it? What was the decision behind that? You just signed a player and we're already saying, 5 months into the 7-year contract, now let's kick this one down the road. Axel Disasi, again, you brought Trevo back. Now he goes alone to Villa. They're challenging for top 4 again after being up there last season, which affects us and what we're trying to do. You couldn't have just sold him to France. If he's not in your plans, move him on. But we don't know what's in our plans because Fofana's hurt, Trevo's back, and now Tosin is apparently stepping up over Disasi. You got too many defenders, and you've solved 0 problems this transfer window. You kicked them down the road. You're going to deal with it this summer, and we're going to be back to having a fire sale in the summer, be distracted trying to get players off the books instead of the right players on the books. So I, like you, maybe not, are very confused on what in the world this team is supposed to be. I want decisiveness. I want player decisions that make sense, that show ambition, and we're not seeing it today. The lack of signings to drive this team to a top 4 when we are in a great position to do it is missing. Instead, we are continuing to balance the squad after the overbloat of signings in the first season with this group in charge. We're just trying to have fun out there. co-sportings. We're just trying to enjoy watching Chelsea week in, week out. We're just trying to enjoy little Chelsea Football Club magic. Yet these transfer windows do not give people joy. They give us more questions than answers, and we're trying to figure out if we're supposed to be excited about what you're building here or not. So look, I'm sure you're pretty comfortable about where you're at. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you feel like they have two hands on the wheel? I guess you could say four hands on the wheel because we have co-sporting directors. What do you think about the Joao Felix loan? Does Disasi leaving temporarily make sense? What is the goal of managing this imbalanced squad? I wouldn't say bloated, but imbalanced squad again. Do you feel like the hard decisions are being made? You got to let me know in the comments because I'm out here trying to figure it out one way or another. Maybe I'm just not as smart as the co-sporting directors, which could be very, very true. But the matter of the fact is we got an opportunity to go win silver. We had a chance to go get top four, reclaim being an elite club in Europe. And it just feels like we're spinning our wheels yet again. So anyways, till next time, Chelsea fans, you know what to do. Keep the blue flag flying high.